evening, ladies. Wednesday Facebook Live with me, Stephanie Chivers, your coach, the curator of the amazing Women Who Don't Drink group. So new ladies, welcome. It's great to have you here. Have a look around, but please watch the welcome video at the top of the page. It explains how the group works and where everything is. There are so many free resources on this page. If you struggle to find anything, please give me a shout because I can point you in the right direction. Basically, there are 4 videos in the files section which you must watch before you do anything, because it explains everything you need to know about alcohol. But there's also a free hypnotherapy session in there, recommended reading list, there's the rules, frequently asked questions. There's a video section as well with all of these Facebook Lives in. So much stuff there to help you on your way. So please ask me. At the moment on the page, we have a 7-day sugar-free challenge. Now, if you're new, you might be wondering what that's all about. So basically what we do is we do little challenges from time to time to help us just generally be happy and healthy. So yes, essentially this page is for ladies who want to change their relationship with alcohol. But as you know, that doesn't isolate us just to alcohol. There are so many things that affect our lives, like parenting, our work, our health, exercise, food, so many things. So we sometimes do quite random little challenges, like we did the exercise challenge and we did the ab fab challenge, which I personally really enjoyed. Hi Lisa, lovely to see you. So yes, at the moment we're doing 7 days sugar free. Now, this 7 days sugar-free is for ladies who feel okay about the alcohol. So alcohol isn't really an issue for them anymore, but maybe they're really struggling with the sugar. If you are early days with the alcohol or you're struggling, please do not do this. Gwen also said that as well. It's really important that you only tackle one thing at a time. I'm not a fan of deprivation and sacrifice. It doesn't work. That's why diets don't work. If you take too much away all at once, it can be too much, okay? So alcohol first, ladies, really, really important. And then if sugar becomes an issue, then start with a 7-day sugar-free challenge. So what can happen, as I'm sure some ladies are aware, is we can stop drinking, and then we can discover that actually we are using sugar sweet treats in a similar way. It's not quite the same, but there are some similarities. So pay attention to what's going on if that's you. Are you using sort of cakes and biscuits and sweet treats and things like that in the same way that you would, or a similar way that you would with alcohol? So like emotional eating, for instance, or when you're tired, just thinking, so are you using sugar like a drug essentially? Okay, so just sort of have a little bit of a think and see what's going on there. I know definitely wasn't really too much of an issue. It's been a bit more of an issue for me the last couple of years, which I know is unusual, but then I am unusual. So I'm 12 years into my journey with the alcohol. Alcohol just, isn't an issue at all for me. But yes, sugar can be. I have got it down to chocolate because I do quite a lot sugar-free challenges. I do them for other people. I do them as well in these groups. And the more I do them, the easier it gets. And you do change your taste buds, you change your eating habits, and the more you focus on healthy eating and what you can eat, then healthy food tastes nice and it feels good. And and sugar doesn't actually feel that nice in your mouth, particularly when you start cutting it out. So it sort of alters your taste buds around that. So if you didn't get the chance, whether you're doing the sugar-free challenge or not, I highly recommend that you watch Gwen's video. It stays on the page. All the videos stay on the page. There is a video section which you can find on your phone. If you can't find it, give me a shout. I will point you in the direction of finding it. But please watch it. whether you're doing it or not, because Gwen, I love Gwen because she's like the food equivalent of me. Basically, those of you that know me well know that I don't pull my punches and I shoot from the hip and I tell it like it is, and Gwen does the same with food. That's why she's my preferred nutritionist for the page. So she's talking no nonsense about sugar, which makes me very happy. And also it's very motivating. So that's why I talk about, you know, watching the Everything You Need to Know About Alcohol videos and learning about alcohol, because, and it doesn't matter if you listen to this stuff every week, it doesn't, because I'm convinced, and you will have heard me say this, I'm convinced that one of my many reasons why I've been able to crack this all the time, you know, I'm talking about alcohol, I'm, you know, signposting people, I'm writing, I'm doing interviews, stuff like that. So I'm constantly saying what alcohol is. So it's that repetition of good factual information, because, you know, not just in this country, but we have this, as you know, we have this weird scenario where alcohol looks nice, it's in nice bottles, you know, in pubs and all that advertising and all the pretty things, and we can be fooled into thinking that's a nice thing, but actually the reality is it isn't. So watching Gwen today reminded me of how I like to talk, you know, straight talking about alcohol. So that's what you're going to get tonight, actually. It's just a little bit of straight talking about alcohol to sort of back up the way Gwen was talking about sugar. So alcohol is a drug, you know. So when I talk, what I love about when I do training, and, you know, I sometimes go and deliver a whole day's training on drugs and alcohol, which is quite hard to fit into one day. But when I do that, I talk about all the drugs, and it's fascinating. So I literally go through, you know, all our main drugs: heroin, cocaine, crack, amphetamine, cannabis, mushrooms, acid, ketamine, heroin, benzos, downers, opiates, you know, the lot. And I give all the information about, you know, how we take them and what the harms are and the impact on the community, impact to the person, all that type of stuff. So I give all the information. And what's really, really interesting is everybody gets it, because I just give the facts. Everybody gets it. They get that alcohol is actually one of our most harmful drugs. So if you're starting out on this journey or you're struggling a bit, treat alcohol as it is, okay? Start calling alcohol what it is. So I know I say drugs and alcohol, and I say that so people know what I'm talking about, but actually alcohol is a drug, so we shouldn't even be saying it like that. We should be saying drugs education, and alcohol would be lumped into that. So alcohol is a drug, okay? So a lot of people wouldn't take a drug, but yet they would drink. And I've had many a heated debate with people who've been quite anti-drugs, but with a glass of wine in their hand, and I've sort of had to point out to them, but actually you're taking one of our most harmful substances, and then they'll say, yeah, but it's legal. And I'm like, so it's still one of our most harmful substances. So I want you to start thinking about alcohol as a drug and as one of our most harmful substances, because it sits up there in the top 3 with cocaine and heroin. And the thing with alcohol is it's a toxin and it's a poison as well. So if you take alcohol in large quantities, you could die, you know, because it's a toxin, it's a poison. So if you smoked too much cannabis, you wouldn't die. Nobody ever died from a cannabis overdose. You can't die from a ketamine overdose. If you took too much acid, you would probably lose your, you know, you'd probably have a really bad time, but you wouldn't die. The same with mushrooms. You know, and you'd have to take quite a lot of the other substances. I mean, heroin, yes, you can die from a heroin overdose, and benzos. But, you know, I just want to make the point that alcohol sort of sits in there with the other substances as well, so you can start seeing it for what it is. Now, the other thing with alcohol as well is it's physically and psychologically addictive, which is, you know, not all the, very few of the substances are like that. So heroin is, and benzodiazepines are, and alcohol is, but that's it. All the other substances are just psychologically addictive. So there are very few that are psychologically and physically addictive, and alcohol is one of those. And I saw a lovely comment in the group the other week saying, you know, like, you can get patches for nicotine, why can't we have patches for alcohol? What a lovely idea. And I think you can get implants, actually. I think that's what they do in Poland with the drink tanks, is they put you, it's an enforced detox, and then you have an implant, and I think the implant is something like antabuse, so actually you are really quite unwell if you do drink, so it stops you from drinking. It's quite severe though, but obviously the reason why we can't have a patch is because alcohol, you know, it's that stuff around physical withdrawal, so they'd have to be very clever with the patch, and I don't think they're quite there yet. Now, another reason why I wanted to make the point, sometimes I come under quite a bit of fire, so I get people telling me that because I don't preach abstinence, which I never will, that actually I'm allowing people to drink and I'm allowing people to kill themselves. So I just want to be really clear about that. Okay, so my thing is, as I'm sure you're aware, is facts and truth. Like Gwen, when she talks about food and she talks about sugar, it's about giving you the facts so that you can make an informed choice. And then I'm going to give you tips and techniques to help you on your journey. But it's your choice. You know, once you have the facts, it's entirely up to you what you do with it. And if you want to, you know, and also, some people will drink occasionally and will be absolutely fine. So who am I to say? It absolutely has to be your choice. And some people will lead long and happy lives having an occasional glass of wine. So it doesn't need to be that dramatic. So yes, it's as much as I mean, ultimately my thing is that I want you to have a happy, healthy life. Now, that's easier the less alcohol you drink, and as I'm sure you're aware, my message is take a break. So, you know, if you need to reduce, but actually as soon as you can, to take a break, and to take as long break as you can to experience your life alcohol free. And why not? Why wouldn't you? Just like, think of it like an experiment, you know, taking time off taking a harmful substance. You know, when you think about it like a drug, you know, well, why wouldn't you take 3 months or 6 months or even a year off taking a drug just to see what life is like without alcohol? And as some of the ladies are discovering, you know, when you're alcohol free, life's a lot clearer. And sometimes that can be difficult, but actually the only way is through. I mean, that's one of the things I love about it, is the clarity, so you know what's going on and you can make good decisions for you and, you know, your life. I actually think that's quite exciting, but I understand that that's quite difficult as well, because you can see life for what it is. Now, if you're not happy with what you see, you can change it, okay? This is also what this group is about. It's about supporting you to make the changes you want to make. Ultimately, we have one life, ladies. One life. I know that some of you will have different beliefs around that, and that's fine. I don't want to upset anybody. But, you know, I personally believe we have one life, and life is happening now. You know, it's happening right this moment, so make it count. You know, my passion is to do this, so I spent quite a lot of time doing this, you know. So live the life that you love on your terms, ladies, okay? And if alcohol isn't a part of that, it's going to be a lot easier. So I hope that was useful. As always, any questions, if you need anything, give me a shout. Take care, ladies. Bye.